Hi Scorpio, my name is Audrey Alison. Thank you for joining me for your January 2017 forecast. Happy New Year and happy January. I was going to say happy birthday. I don't know why. It's Mercury retrograde is really screwing with me, but I'm pummeling through. Okay, so I'm using the Aquarian Tarot deck by David Palladini. He also went to the Pratt Institute in Brooklyn for illustration, just like Pamela Coleman Smith did for the Rider-Waite deck, Rider-Waite-Smith deck. So I found that fascinating. I love both of their illustrations and their artistry. And the back of the deck is very vintage. I love it. So, how are you? Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for subscribing, and thank you for your donations. I really appreciate that. I respond to every donation that I receive, so I appreciate your support there, Scorpio. Let's start the top of the month, and I'll be shuffling throughout the forecast. But we have a Venus transit, and that is on the 3rd of January. Venus will be entering the sign of Pisces, and this affects your 5th house. This is a sister, brother, water sign like you are. So this energy trines you. Venus trining you could actually help you look aesthetically your best, even though she's not in your 1st house. She's in your romantic sector. She is in your sector for physical attraction, true love, creativity, children, fun, and leisure. So she brings harmony and balance where she goes. So I feel like you have a lot of romance around you. Scorpios, you're attracting the right people to you, Venus being the feminine. There, and the goddess Aphrodite, this is a huge, sensual, attractive energy, and she's there for the whole month. So you have the potential to be dating or lining up with the right attractions for you at this time. And for those of you who are already committed, Venus in the 5th definitely sees more romance in the relationship, and even a beautiful, loving connection with your children can appear when Venus arrives into the 5th house. Not that you already don't have that, but this feels like things are going very smoothly because Venus smooths over the sector that she cruises through. On the 4th, we have Mercury going deeper into Sagittarius. So Mercury retrograde at the top of the month, and he's been retrograde since December 19th, and he started at the 15-degree mark of Capricorn when he retrograded. So going deeper into Sagittarius through the 28-degree mark through the 8th of January, there's an extra review here for 4 to 5 days in your money sector, Scorpio. Mercury retrograde in the 2nd house could be the review of the details of your earnings, your budget, how you're making your money, where it's going, who you owe. And your self-confidence around this is being analyzed. Maybe you're feeling a little weaker in the money department just for that 4 to 5 day period of time. Don't let it get you down. The 2nd house actually governs your value system, or the value of self. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to kick the computer. So if you're feeling less than or coming from a place of low confidence and lack, that's the Mercury retrograde. Just allow that few days to pass if you're one of those people that's affecting like that. You'll have replenished mercurial energy in that sector in a few days. I'll tell you why as soon as we get to that transit. On the 12th, the full moon is at 22 degrees of Cancer. So culmination, awareness, and ending and closure in the 9th house. Scorpio might be coming back from foreign travel at that time, or ending certification, study at that time. Putting an end to a belief system with the full moon in the 9th house. So one way that you're thinking either religiously, politically, metaphysically, philosophically could come to an end. And you might be changing that realm up. On the same day, on the 12th, Mercury then enters into Capricorn. So he's direct And he's headed into the sign that he kind of took some energy from. So this is the replenished new wave of reinforcement energy that I'm getting in the third house where he originally retrograded. Yeah, and then he can smooth over the communications even more, because one of the houses that really doesn't work well in a retrograde with Mercury is the third house, because it's a double whammy. Mercury governs communications, but if he started his retrograde in your third house, which he did, of communications, you were probably really tongue-tied. Probably really had a lot to figure out in the beginnings of the retrograde. But now he's there to smooth things over. So interviewing and resumes, excuse me, and all things writing and publishing can move forward for you better from the 12th on. He officially doesn't clear his shadow until the end of the month, around the 28th. But he still has a green light going forward, being direct on the 8th. And in the sign of, sorry, I'm so scattered, in the sector of communications in the third house to replenish where he took from the 12th on. I hope that made sense. On the 19th, the sun enters Aquarius, and then on the 27th, the new moon is at 8 degrees of Aquarius. So this is fourth house energy. This is the mother. This is the foundation of the environment where you came from, your roots, and the deep foundation of the past. So with the sun here, there's definitely an attraction to your environment. Some Scorpios are considering a move. We'll see what happens in the Tarot for relocation. If I get the Knight of Wands, possibly the Chariot, Six of Swords, Three of Wands. Those could symbolize movement, travel, definitely relocation with the Knight of Wands. So we'll see what comes up. But with the sun and the new moon in the fourth house, this is where you want to start your intentions, visualizing where you'd like to see your environment if you're not already in the works to move. Visualization is a very strong technique to manifestation. You have to visualize everything. Everything starts in the mind, and everything ends in the mind. The mind is how we're creating our life. So what you think about, you bring about, and you'll manifest. So visualize around the time of the new moon the appropriate environment that you'd like to see yourself in. And some of you Scorpios are actually moving and will be moved in around the 27th. Congratulations. Okay. On the 28th, we have Mars entering the sign of Aries. And he naturally governs Aries. He loves being here in your sixth house of health. Scorpio, that is an excellent transit for diet, exercise, health routines, regimen, the daily structure within your day. Mars has you fast, rapid-paced, willing to expel energy, determined, driven, ambitious, physically active. He's also harsh, so don't be harsh on the body. But having him in the sixth, you're going to really have the energy to get your workout routine done and your work regimen handled. He's there through the 9th of March. Mars transits every 60 days. He's a little slower than Mercury, the moon, and the sun, and Venus. So he has a long stay there in a sector where you could really benefit health-wise. Now let's get to the cards and see what comes up for Scorpio. And if you'd like to read with me, I read all through the week. This is my sole profession. You can book with me at audreyalison.com, and you would select your desired reading length via the PayPal button, and I'll get back to you in an email in a day or two, and we can set that up. I'm also offering, it's a 60-minute Astro Tarot reading, which I think have been going really well for a yearly reading. So it's a combination astrological natal chart reading with transits that I'll incorporate, that I hone in on when I go over your chart. It's an empathic psychic reading when I go over your chart, but I incorporate the tarot in the reading as well. So it's a very in-depth, personal to you reading that you could choose. And check out my readings page, because on my website I updated it and it looks super cute. And there's a new reading on there. It's called The Lovers, Pollux and Castor Compatibility Chart Reading. It's a 2-chart relationship analysis reading. And I'm offering that because I'm getting a lot of couples that want to see, how compatible they are. And you know what I'm noticing? That reading is excellent if you want me to hone in on a wedding date for you, which I love to do. That's one of my favorite things to do. I'm one of those friends that tells people when they need to get married when they tell me they're engaged. I'm like, oh wait, I know the perfect day. And then it takes me a couple days to figure it out. But you don't want to get married in a Mercury retrograde or a Venus retrograde or even a Mars retrograde. So come to me if you want that date. But let's get to the cards. 4 of Pentacles. Look at the artistry, so uniquely beautiful. 4 of Pentacles is savings. In the alchemical deck, this is a picture of a man putting coins in the dirt, shoveling a hole in the dirt and burying his money. So savings, manifesting money. Let's see what else. Ooh, Page of Pentacles. He's got information for you. He's bringing you money. Oh. And those of you dealing with inheritance and wills and the 8th house of shared resources, which isn't hugely impacted, but Saturn's in your money sector and in Sagittarius. So I feel like, which is sextiling Jupiter the first week at an exact 22 degrees. That kind of sextile could bring in abundance because Jupiter in your 12th sextiling Saturn in your money sector. That's going to be the first week exactly. The sextile happens throughout the month though. This is the dude that could bring you some information regarding your finances. Could be a younger earth sign male as well. Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. 8 of Rods. Whew, something's coming in quickly. Rushed in news, information. Mars in the 6th house could see information coming in quickly about work. The 6th house of work and routine. This person could also be coming in very quickly to deliver money to you if you're waiting on a check. So let's see what else. Get that check. The Hermit. This is the sign of Virgo in the Tarot. The Hermit's very special because he keeps the light on. He keeps this lantern on when it's dark outside. He's just waiting quietly. He still has faith and hope. He didn't give up hope. Even though it's dark out and he's turned the lights off, he's got his lantern and he's able to guide himself that way. If you're losing faith that money is going to come to you, just keep hope. Keep the light on. There's another card. Wow, what is up? Ace of Pentacles. I think I saw this in the shuffle too at some point. Look at this. You're starting the reading with the coins and you're ending with the coins. There is growth around you to develop your finances. And this is a very rushed pace. So it's happening. And Saturn might have been restricting the money for some time. And that's okay. That happens. You're saving. You're trying to get ahead, Scorpio, or trying to get out of water. And Scorpio's a water sign. So you're trying to make some leverage here. You could see this start to happen as we enter January and more quickly because of the sextile to Jupiter, which helps Saturn, gives you some reprieve on the restriction that is being held up in your money sector, because Saturn's going to be in your 2nd house until December 21st of 2017. So you've got a full 11, 12 months still with Saturn's energy. That's especially if you're a Sagittarius or Scorpio rising, but it applies to Scorpio sun and moon as well. But looking at your natal chart would be different because some of you don't have Scorpio as your first house. I could tell you that because your ascendant depicts where your first house is natally. But these are solar scopes. Just please watch your ascendant horoscope as well as your moon for a full scope. But I like this for people waiting on pending developments of earnings because this says they're picking up the pace. All of those coin cards. Then you have this wand, the fire, and the hermit's waiting quietly, silently, internally. But he keeps the light on. Keep your hope. Keep a notification on. Oh, amazing. Check your mail, check your notifications in, computer land and social media land. You could be missing something that came in already through the retrograde, and you're wondering why you haven't heard back, but it's in your junk mail, or it's in your outgoing box, or it's spammed, or there's a place that you haven't seen it yet. That's a little bit of a message. That won't apply to everyone, but to some of you, something went missing, and you think you haven't heard from it yet, but you have. That'll be resolved. Let's let Mercury, get rid of his retrograde cycle, and then we can all kind of move a little bit smoothly forward. I hope this was helpful, Scorpio. I am wishing you a beautiful new year. Remember, the sky is limitless, so reach for the stars.